Have you ever looked at an animal and just thought, there's no way that's real? Well, today, we're celebrating nature's brilliant misfits, the creatures that completely defy our expectations. Let's get weird. Seriously, just take a second. What's the first image that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably something familiar, right? Something we've seen on TV or maybe even at a local farm. Maybe your mind jumps to the king of the jungle. You know, the powerful, majestic lion. A classic symbol of the wild for a really good reason. Or maybe something a little more down to earth, like a gentle cow. These are kind of the usual suspects of the animal world, the creatures we feel like we know and understand. But nature is so much stranger, so much more creative than that. What about the animals that look like they've walked straight out of a fantasy novel? Because that's where things get really, really interesting. So first, we're going to go way beyond the familiar zoo to meet some creatures that challenge our very definition of what an animal should look like. And we'll see how what might seem bizarre at first glance often turns out to be an incredible evolutionary superpower. Let's start with a creature that seems to defy the rules of aging itself. Okay, this little guy is the axolotl, a unique type of salamander from Mexico. And here's the thing, unlike its relatives, it never truly grows up. It spends its entire life in its aquatic larval stage, keeping those feathery external gills and that kind of youthful charm. It is the Peter Pan of the amphibian world. But its whole eternal youth thing, that's not even its most incredible trait. Its real superpower is regeneration. And we're not just talking about regrowing a tail. Oh no. The axolotl can rebuild entire limbs. We're talking bones, muscle, nerves, the whole shebang. It can even repair damaged parts of its own brain and heart, which is why it's such a superstar in scientific research, possibly holding the keys to human medicine. So from an animal that can rebuild its one heart, let's move to one that has 3 of them. Yep, 3. Any guesses which creature needs this many? It's the octopus, and this is just a perfect example of evolution solving a really complex problem. See, 2 of its hearts work exclusively to pump blood through its gills. The third, much more powerful heart circulates that oxygen-rich blood to the rest of the body. But here's the wildest part. That main heart actually stops beating when the octopus swims. This little quirk is why they often prefer to just crawl along the seabed. Swimming is just way too exhausting. So we've seen some amazing internal superpowers, but sometimes a weird feature isn't hidden away inside. Sometimes it's a bold statement, a tool for survival and attraction that is absolutely impossible to ignore. Meet the proboscis monkey from the forests of Borneo. You can probably guess its most famous feature, but that enormous fleshy nose on the male, it isn't just for show. For the male proboscis monkey, this is a textbook case of sexual selection. His large nose basically acts like an echo chamber, amplifying his calls. Now, this serves to warn off rivals, but more importantly, it attracts females. A bigger, droopier nose means a louder, more impressive call, making him a much more desirable mate. And now for a creature that looks like it was assembled from the leftover parts of other animals. This is the aye, a nocturnal primate from Madagascar, with these big eyes, huge ears, and a very, very unique set of hands. Its strange appearance has, unfortunately, led to a lot of fear and misunderstanding. But all its weird features are actually a perfectly adapted toolkit. It uses this technique called percussive foraging. It taps on wood with that long, spindly middle finger, listens for insect tunnels with its huge ears, gnaws a hole with its rodent-like teeth, and then uses that same slender finger to fish out a grub. It's like a woodpecker, a squirrel, and a primate all rolled into one incredible animal. Tragically, this incredible adaptation is also its curse. In some local cultures, the aye is seen as an omen of bad luck, and because of these superstitions, they're often killed on sight, pushing a truly unique species closer and closer to the edge. And this brings us to a much more serious point. For many of these strange and wonderful creatures, their unique traits make them remarkable but also incredibly vulnerable. Their very existence has become a paradox. We're talking about extinction, the permanent loss of a species. And it's not some abstract concept. It's a direct result of human actions, draining lakes, cutting down forests, polluting water, and introducing new species that just disrupt fragile ecosystems. Let's go back to our friend the axolotl for a second. This chart is just staggering. In 1998, in its only natural habitat in the entire world, there were 6,000 axolotls per square kilometer. By 2008, that number had plummeted to 100. By 2018, fewer than 35. This is what extinction looks like in real time.
And here's the devastating irony. The axolotl is a conservation paradox. There are thousands, maybe millions, living in labs and aquariums all over the world. It's one of the most widespread amphibians in captivity. And yet, it has been virtually wiped out in the one place it actually calls home.
All of this leads to a crucial question. Why should we care so much about saving these oddballs? Why is their weirdness so fundamentally worth protecting?
The threats are clear, and they all have a common source. Whether it's habitat destruction for the proboscis monkey, pollution and invasive species for the axolotl, or pure superstition for the AI, these are battles they are losing against human impact.
Here's why this all matters. Every single one of these species is like a living library, holding millions of years of evolutionary secrets. When we lose the axolotl in the wild, we lose the genetic diversity that fuels its regeneration. We lose the very key to its superpower. When we lose the ii, we lose a one-of-a-kind branch on the primate family tree. So I'll leave you with this. These creatures aren't weird for the sake of being weird. They are masterpieces of evolution, holding answers to questions we haven't even thought to ask yet. The real question isn't why they're so strange, but what irreplaceable knowledge, what biological secrets we are willing to lose forever when they're gone. Think about that.